Here we go with Division 2, guys. This is the only one game. They are playing the next game at a different time, at another time. But we have Ragnarok versus Dads here, so I'm going to take my time and introduce the teams here. Let's begin with Aristocats here in the pocket position. He is with Ragnarok, so that's the team with 4, 8, and 6 colors here. Aristocrat is playing as the Slavs pocket here, and his current 1v1 rating is a whooping 1610. And he's peaked even at 1688, so he's really out there and improving and climbing. And yeah, with Slavs here, good mobility, good siege and infantry for the late game. Would be interesting to see how that plays out. Now to the left side, we have the Zreptar here as the Koreans, playing in the yellow here on the flank. And Zreptar's current rating is 1431, but with a peak at 1568 for 1v1 games. So absolutely a strong, solid player to be reckoned with here. And finally, on the other side, we have Flying Mouse playing with as Aztec's flank for this one. Flying Mouse is at 1363 with a 1427 peak. So he's certainly a solid player as well, but elo-wise slightly below his teammates here. Now let's have a look at the other team as well. We have Shakuni as a Turk's pocket here for Dads. Shakuni is 1313 in 1v1 at the moment, and he's peaked at 1382, so he's absolutely solid 1v1 player as well, roughly the same elo level as Flying Mouse. Playing with the Turks for this one, a bit interesting to see Turks pocket, but you have those scouts like Hussars with extra pierce armor, could be great for the early fights with scouts and archers to go together. And of course you have access to Knight, Cavalier I believe, and Camel, not to mention your strong chemistry, gunpowders options. Go Shakuni's team, says Magnolia. Alright, you know the guy? Cool. Right hand side we have a Vietnamese here for Dark Killamon, and he is currently sitting at 1217 1v1 elo with a peak at 1324. Now that's a decent matchup against Koreans, who will likely be going for archers here, if not towers. And Koreans, obviously, they get that armor upgrade instantly, so that's going to be a pickle, but less of a pickle for Vietnamese having 20% more hit points on their archery range unit. So that's going to be an interesting one to see in that matchup, if and how the Vietnamese player adapts here. Will he rely on the extra HP, or get to that second defense early on as well? Remains to be seen. And finally, we had Deno 069 here with the Persians flank. Has me immediately thinking if he wants to go for a Persian douche or something, being in flank position. But Persians, they have good archers up until the late castle age as well. They get crossbows, they get full upgrades. You could easily go straight archers or men-at-arms archers with Persians, or even opt for scouts for the mobility. But we are moving forward here, aren't we? Oh boy. Oh boy. So Deno, looking at all of these villagers running about, Deno is 1278 1v1 by the way, but is going for a rather unique play here against Flying Mouse. Or not unique, it's proved a viable tactic. But let's not just see if Flying Mouse will be able to recognize what's coming his way. The Eagle Scout is out of position, but there is a house here. Deno will pass right next to that one, unfortunately. Oh, some teal spots on the map. What's going on? And immediate reaction by Flying Mouse, placing those houses and palisade, making it awkward to place the upcoming TC, but Deno indeed gets it up. So already causing serious discomfort on the Aztecs player here. Flying Mouse is with 250 foot only, but with the TC in this spot, Sure, you'll contest the TC, but the berries are not being contested, so Mr. Flying Mouse will still have steady food access. But it is indeed a Persian douche here and some Dark Age action from Dads here. I mean, they're up against a team with probably 200 or 300 higher average elo, so they have to go for some unique approaches here, and this is certainly going to set the Aztec player back as well. The obvious downside being that the Persian player sets themselves back as well, and will not at all be able to provide any army to their respective teammates here. The TC will go down for Flying Mouse here. No way he's getting to the feudal age anytime soon, which probably shouldn't be the case for Leno either. Actually, Flying Mouse has the food to go up, but I don't think he can justify going to the feudal age at this stage. Doesn't seem overly stressed out though. Has Loom, and Shakuni is here with his scout as well to take out at least one of Flying Mouse's villagers here. Actually, thinking about it, a Persian douche accompanied by, say, Turks scouts here could be pretty strong, because you have the mobility to deal with Flying Mouse rebuilding the TC, and yeah. Aside from the fact that the Persians player will be stuck in Dark Age for a long while, it's also some serious damage output on the enemy here. Flying Mouse, I don't know if he's freaking out or what here, but is housed obviously from losing the town center, and cannot produce more militia as a result of that. We're here, we're going villager fighting. I think Dano has been watching some douche videos. What Flying Mouse's teammates can do though is either just make use of the situation, wall off, and focus on a quicker cast age, or they could go with some scouts or archers mobility and take out Dano's remaining food and wood eco at home, because that would limit the potential of removing and building a new town center for Dano here. See the army numbers going up for Aristocats here from Pocket, so he will be providing scouts as well to contest Shakuni's scouts forward here. Amazingly enough though, with no TC for Flying Mouse, it is Dads that are in the points lead for now, score lead. Obviously lots of idols for Deno with the villager lead, but obviously with so many idols, and likely not looking at the feudal age anytime soon. Let's see. So I'm not overly convinced of Aristocat's choice to go for the villagers of Deno forward here, because here are Shakuni's scouts to help out in addition to the villager fighting. I mean, if Aristocats goes for the mobility and scouts Deno's base instead, we'd be looking at some serious damage output over here, because there would be nothing to defend Deno's economy at home. I think Deno is considering another TC drop. Flying Mouse has rebuilt where exactly? Down here, okay. So that's outside of Deno's point of view. TC is up going to the feudal age. All in all, Flying Mouse salvages a feudal age with a 24 villagers up, as Deno is going heavily onto stone here and might be thinking about following up this with towers in the feudal age. Dretar is forward on Dark Killamon here in the north, so the Vietnamese player will need to try and get these army numbers up ASAP. I'm assuming a double range opening for Zreptar here, whereas Dark Killamon here is with only one range. So that's going to be a huge issue when trying to mass army. I may have missed some of the action here as well. Could be that Dark Killamon has already lost some units. It's only 0 to 2 here. And in the south we have Deno trying to boom up towards the feudal age follow-up here. Has the scouts of Aristocats to attend to though. Then barracks is in place as well, so Deno will be able to produce spearmen soon enough. It's just a few % away from the next stage now. We have a flare in the middle as well. Deno is, I guess the teammates are flaring that you need to wall in your berries or something, just in case the scouts decide to move in that direction. We still have some of Shakuni's scouts out as well. They would be very much helpful in the north here against Zeraptar's archers forward here, because the Turks scouts, they have another +1 pierce armor instantly from the feudal age onwards. Dark Yellowmon going into the Vietnamese skirms here, no upgrades whatsoever, seems to be struggling a little bit with keeping up here. 28 villagers, has lost 3 units total, and seems a bit incapacitated here. Will be struggling for food very soon as the hunt depletes over here. See, only 3 on food for Dark Yellowmon, that's not very good for the progression of the game. And with skirmishers out, all Zereptar needs to do is to call upon Aristocrat scouts, and they fight this off easily. Now score lead for Ragnarok here, and recovering into a very nice position here. Here come the Turk scout though to help out in the fighting. Let's see how they fare against this archer's mass. It is both fletching and armor in for Zereptar here, and the scouts help out for sure, but not nearly enough here. Between the population and army numbers decreasing rapidly for dads here. More villagers going down as well, and these 9 forward archers of Zereptar are just really having the time of their life over here, taking out so much enemy economy and units. Here come the scouts as well from the pocket to even fortify the position even more. You have a little bit of a towers forward with some spears here from Dedo, but Flying Mouse seems to be able to hold his own over here and isn't really threatened. And Dedo has just reclaimed the starting position of Flying Mouse as his own base now. 4 on stone for Flying Mouse as well, something that Dedo should be towering as well to keep defensive towers off the menu for Flying Mouse here. Scouts versus scouts here, 5 versus 5. Shakuni is not completely walled here, so might risk losing a little bit to scouts here. Will also force all of Shakuni's army back home because there isn't nearly enough army at home to hold against this. Quick wall on the gold maybe to save those, but Aristocrats finds a way and splits up the scouts even to create total confusion here. Chases Spearman didn't kill any on the gold, but also took them off for a little bit there. So some idle time caused by Aristocrats in Shakuni's base here. Castle Age just kicked in for Aristocrats in the Slavs pocket. That means Knights will be right on the menu. Let's look at all these Slavs farms as well. Should easily sustain double stable Knights production here, and that's going to be a nightmare for Dark Yellowmon still in the feudal age to deal with skirmishers defending here, and Knights would just melt those away. Yeah, it's not looking great for Shakuni's team, Magnolia. Slavs Knights now at Deno's base. I mean, if the Slavs player can get the Knights to the proper masses, they could even take out the Persian TC, but obviously a Persian TC has twice the hit points. You would prefer to have Siege to take it out more efficiently. Dealing with the towers though, and Deno should be stuck in the feudal age for much longer here, missing the gold, not taking gold at all. Food count not half bad, but now the whole TC is idled, so it's a real rough spot for dads here, being behind at least 10 villagers here total, and not to mention the 2 players of the offensive team being in the Castle Age, and Flying Mouse about to follow suit here, actually, with a very healthy eco to back the Castle Age up click for the Aztecs player here. Turk scouts trying to help out in the fight here, but this scout's investment is also going to delay Shakuni's Castle Age timing, as Reptar could easily just push on his own to the north here, and with only Shakuni Well, Castlage on the way for Dark Kill here as well, but the problem about going skirms in the team game is that the enemy knights will just melt them away, kill them easily, especially if you ledge skirms with no defense upgrades. They just can't stand the chance. They would die even to the Koreans' crossbows forward here. One villager moving forward. I think we might see a forward siege workshop here from Zreptar, partly on the hill here. Nice position. You'd have the potential for heal bonus damage here as well. We have a flare in the middle. Not sure what the idea was here. Probably that the knights were coming in this direction, and Deno wants to escape with some of the villagers here, it seems. Castlage right around the corner for Flying Mouse as well. Now going heavily into infantry, spears, and archers here. A solid mix. True AI army in the making here. It's only with +1, but still with more than enough damage output to try and contest Dark Yelamon here. One stray villager on the side could be picked off at the very least. Knights lacking the +2, which is on the way though, means that the knights will take more damage from TC Fire. Shakuni with the camels here though, so trying his best to help out in the efforts, but with this mass of crossbows on the field, the camels have to be very careful not to be picked off easily by Zreptar here. So archers soon to be crossbows for Flying Mouse, going to try and stop the Persian player from being more annoying here. The Flying Mouse is relocated out to the south, has lost control of the main gold, still has the stone on the side though, and has been mining stone consistently, so we might actually be looking at a castle drop here soon from Flying Mouse to reclaim the spot here near the TC and the towers here. In the north we have camels desperately helping out here against the +2 knights, but with crossbows firing from behind, it's still going to be some significant losses for Shakuni in the mix here. Yeah, the overall military situation here is dominant, not to mention the technology difference. After Deno going for the YOLO play of a Persian douche here, the GG is called. And that's going to be the only game from the second division this time around. GG well played to both teams though, and fun to see a Persian douche in the team game almost working out for a moment there, but that's going to be it for this one, and we'll be moving on to the first division shortly. It's not showing that I had a disconnect. Oh, you did. But did you end it here, Dark 11, or is there a restore file? Oh, even before the man was attacking my TC. Oh, I see. Yeah, let's look at the stats here and move on to the first division. Yeah, we could come back, so couldn't come back, so I just gave it. Yeah, I see. Trying to schedule the second game to Saturday. Okay, maybe I'll catch it live if the timing is right. KD a whooping 63 to 20 of our Aristocrat. That's what that earlier Castlage can do, and that efficient usage of your army. Aristocrat the highest rated player of all as well though, so you'd expect him to put up a good showing against a weaker team. Shakuni with lots of food did invest into scouts and did have a decent Castlage after having invested into so many scouts as well. Overall villager count though is obviously higher for team 1 here, especially Aristocrats never touched in the pocket position.